morning, good evening, one and all. Welcome back to the Automotive Podcast where you don't have to build model cars, but it sure does help. This will be episode 36. If you're really keeping it home, this is season 3, episode 3. We are back with the full crew. We skipped an episode. You may have noticed 2 weeks ago, Mr. Sean was heading out of town to visit his new grandchild. So, round of applause. Sean is the first-time grandfather down there in the bottom corner there. And down there in the Hollywood Square is, I didn't ask you how to pronounce your last name before we started this. So Ken, how do you pronounce your last name, Ken?
Malysa.
Malysa. All right. So Ken Malysa, Auto Building and Retirement, is our guest for this evening. Happy to have you on board, Ken.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys inviting me. I feel like I get to sit at the popular guys table tonight.
That's right. Big kids table. So it's been a month now since we gathered around, and Sean obviously has things he could probably talk about there. But what have we been up to, Mr. Tester, in the last month? So we finished a Ferrari. Anything else going on?
I did finish my Ferrari finally. I started that thing in September, painting the body.
Does that really count, though?
Well, I did the body and the decals back in September, October, and then had to put it away for the rest of the kit to come. And then, probably December till now, working on the rest of it.
Looks good.
Thank you.
I saw the creator was duly impressed.
Yes.
When
He's not with us tonight yet.
Not yet. No. I was actually watching the counters. We were coming in here, and it said one person, and then we were talking off air before we came on here. The chat was already active before we came on the air. It's like one person. Where are these people chatting at? But the counter's up now, so that's good. Anything else? We got. I know we had reviews for 2 new PZY kits, BMW and another Ferrari.
Yeah.
So
trying to peddle those kits. Yep.
So, all right, Mr. Sean, you're the one with all the news. What's going on?
Let's see. I've been making progress on my my Dune Charger.
Yes.
4-wheel drive Dodge Charger trophy truck abomination that I've been creating. So I've got paint on that down to final assembly. I've been trying to make progress. Hopefully, I'm going to have it for debut at the Buckeye show in Columbus. So that's my goal for that.
Yay.
Ken, are you planning on coming to that show?
Definitely.
Good.
Yep, that's like the big one for us,
Yeah, that's pretty. What's the date? Do you guys remember the date of that? I don't know.
21st, right? Yeah.
21st. Yeah. So I've been working on that. Also been doing some projects for round 2. Actually, I got it. You might notice something back there sitting in the spray booth, working on a project for them. They had sent me the test shot of the new 55 Chevy Gasser. It's a replica of the Hot Wheels. I forget what the name of it is, but one of the diecast cars. So I'm building a prototype for them, and then I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do with it. I'll probably put it on display at some events. I don't know. It was they're like, here, build this real quick, and I'll send it to them, and then I'll never see it again, and I have no idea what they'll do with it. So that'll be a quick turn, just out of the box build.
I can see it. It's pink.
It is pink. Yeah, pink. It's actually got some stripes on the roof there. So first pink car I've ever built.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's an important life skill, learning how to paint pink, right?
Geez, my third build was pink, man. Come on, get with it.
First time for everything. They had, if you recently watched the latest round 2 video, they showed some stuff they were doing from Toy Fair. I'm sure we'll probably chat about some of the new reissues or re-releases a little bit later. But it's the 55 Chevy is based on the Nomad. They're the classic AMT Nomad kit, but has all new body and a bunch of some other parts to kind of make it similar to the diecast car that's really popular for Hot Wheels collectors.
Okay.
So they are pushing those. I saw somebody, I don't know how true it is, because anything on a Facebook model group is probably three quarters of a lie anyway, but somebody said they were going to do all 16 of the original cars. And I don't believe they actually possess tooling to do all 16 of the original cars. They are doing that new snap-tight twin mill. So, I mean, that's new tooling.
Yeah.
So maybe they will. I mean, obviously, that is, new body on old tooling. The other two, the show rods, I can't think what the heck they're called off the top of my head. Guys in the chat help. But, those two were tooling that have existed since the 60s. So that was just a matter of reissuing them.
Yeah.
And I think all of us talked to, shoot. My mind just slipped there.
Steve,
thank you. I was going to say, we've got Sean on my mind because I'm sitting here looking at it. Yeah, we talked to Steve, and Steve would talk about the one, not the Silhouette, the other one was not going to have an engine outside of the body. They weren't going to, make it exactly like the Hot Wheels. It was an approximation thereof, and I'm guessing the 55 gas is similar. It's not going to be, a 100% copy of the Hot Wheels car, but it'll be very much the spirit of it. So,
yeah.
I mean,
my guessing, just looking at the tooling for the 55, is you'll probably see other versions of it. It looks similar to some movie cars that have been done.
Yes, I saw that.
But I don't really know for sure. I don't really have any inside information. I'm just kind of making some projected guesses based on what I see. But I am really excited about the twin mill. That looked really cool. I saw the mock-up that they showed in the video. The thing that I thought was the coolest about it was they actually tooled up the Hot Wheels wheels, like the red line wheels. With I was like, oh, that's be neat. I could see building just on my own a series of Hot Wheels inspired cars. So we'll see.
Get those wheels and tires in a parts pack.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how would you do the Spectraflame paint. Like the colored chrome look.
Oh wow! Maybe Fusion Firm with some candy paint in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe, but it dulls down a little bit when you put that anything clear on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think you'd somehow want to get the body chrome plated first, and then do just like clear, colored
Candy.
Clear over it.
That would do it.
Say, what is it? So, is it Spotlight Hobbies? That's what it's Hobby Heaven. Yeah, Spotlight Hobbies. They're the ones that are only ones that are doing chrome plating that I could think of off the top of my head.
The manufacturer could do it. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure they could. Yeah,
if they wanted to, they could do a special run of those bodies in a colored plated, which would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
So there's a tip for you, Round 2, if you're listening.
Let's say very cool, but I already see the comment section now. There's mold lines underneath this chrome. They didn't take it to stand it first.
Wah, wah.
So Ken, you're obviously not returning as you've never been here before, but what have you been working on recently?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's quite an honor. And can I indulge myself, because this is like my first experience doing this with the blocks, and I've always wanted to do this. So I wonder if you guys could help me out too. Can we do like the Brady Bunch thing, like this? And
is it this way, right? He's over there, then he's down there. I say Ken's down there, Sean's directly below me, and then
that was great. Okay, so what am I doing? I've been struggling building a 67 GTX Revell car. And by struggling, it just I haven't had the time, because I don't know if you've been following my channel, but I temporarily got drafted back into work. And, it's taken a lot of my time. So, I know. And I guess what I'm trying to do is I force myself to work on it once in a while when I'm probably not like in the groove. So I'm making mistakes. I had to strip the body. First time I ever had to strip a paint job. Did that. Then I did the hood, but I forgot to put the hood scoops on. So then I'm battling with that issue right now. Went with the vinyl top, so that's good. It's a nice vinyl top on there. So I'm struggling to get that one done. And then I got that Camaro USAC build that I started right when I forgot what camera I'm on. I started that USAC build when they first announced it and did several episodes, but then put it away because March 15th seemed like forever. And now it's rapidly coming across or coming up on us. So I'm trying to get back into that. So those are 2 builds I'm working on.
I think God bless you guys with the USAC thing. I can't.
I did too.
This one's a decent kit, but some of the kit choices have been kind of interesting, and it's just I don't know, it's too much of it's just too much for me. Like I prefer smaller group builds. This turns into it's like everybody's involved in this. Okay, well everybody else is doing it. Why am I doing it at that point?
Yeah.
I'm blissfully ignorant of the USAC builds. What is it? Tell us all about what is it? What are they building? Who's involved?
Well, I mean, it's all fairly new to me too. This is the first time I've done it, but it's for content creators, and I'm terrible with acronyms, so to remember what every letter stands for.
Unified Scale Content Creator, or Unified Automotive Scale Content Creator, I think is what that stands for.
Yeah, what he said. So anyways, so if you have a YouTube channel or you're prominent on Facebook or something like that, it's a group build of all the people that are on social media to do. And then I guess on March 15th, well, they announced it, I think it was November when we started it, but on March 15th is like the reveal day. So you can show like videos of your build, but the final reveal is held off till March 15th. And my understanding is Acme is going to have a table of all these cars in when is that, October? I think it is.
Yeah, third week of October.
So that's what it is, just a fun build. I don't know if there's any real judging or anything done with it, but it looks like just a fun thing to do.
It's just to promote the other creators. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Is it a specific kit they're building, or are you free?
Yeah, they all pick this. They all build the same kit.
I'll say it's I think it's any 69 Revell 69 Camaro. So I mean, there's pretty wide variety there, convertibles and all the Baldwin motions and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, any variety of the 69 Camaro, and I think last year it was the 68 Dart. So every year they give the announcement to somebody in the club who gets to pick the model. So this time it was Fred Henry who picked it. If you're familiar with Fred,
I'm shocked Fred would pick a 69 Camaro. Shocked.
There's so many group builds. I just can't keep up with that. I mean, I chose to do at least this one because I feel like, well, if you're going to be a YouTube guy, you should at least do that one.
Do one, right? I did the first 2.
Yeah, so I don't want to seem to be knocking or anything like that. I know there's some people that their entire YouTube channels exist because of this, the whole, they created YouTube channels just to participate. And then I think in the last 2 years, they've extended it where you don't actually have to have a YouTube channel anymore. You can participate in the Facebook group that exists for it. But
right.
Yeah. I mean, I started my YouTube channel for a whole different reason, and then it just turned into something that I never was prepared for. So you never know.
Well, now you've opened up the door for for this question. Why did you start your YouTube channel?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, first of all, when I retired in October of 24, I didn't have a real plan of what I was going to do. All I knew is I was not going to work anymore. And, and it was nice. It was nice weather. So I got the motorcycle, yard work, just going places and doing stuff. But as wintertime came, in the back of my mind, I thought maybe model building might come into the picture because I did it as a kid. And I thought some other projects as well, but I picked model building because I did it as a kid. I thought I was pretty good at it, but in hindsight, when I see what's done today, including my own work, I was quite the hacker. But I decided to get back into that. But then I just felt there was something wrong with knocking out builds and not being able to share them with anybody because I didn't know anybody who builds models, no place to show them. my wife would, be the only person I could show it to. And she, oh, that's nice, dear. Oh, then it goes on the shelf and it's like, man, that seemed like a lot of work and effort not to share. So I was sharing it on my personal Facebook page. And then people were asking me, well, how did you do that? That's pretty cool. And how did you do the patina? And how do you do that bare metal foil and all that stuff? So I started the channel just for family and friends to answer those questions, and they can see how I do it. But somehow in just the first week or two, I had like 1,000 subscribers. And it's like, whoa, I mean, where'd that come from? So then I decided, well, I need to put content out there. So I started cranking out videos and stuff. So then the whole plan changed. At first, it was just to share what I do with family and friends. But when I started building, I had to do a lot of searching on YouTube for the how-tos, just like a lot of people getting back in the hobby. Because back when I used to do it, it was a tube of glue and a can of Testor's paint for $1 and $1.50 kit, and you got a weekend to build a model. But I did a lot of research on painting and chroming and bare metal foil and all that stuff. And I found that nobody really has a full-on tutorial process for that. There's quite a few people that cover that stuff, but they always leave out just enough for you to like, well, I didn't get all my answers. So after studying and researching a lot of people, I decided, well, now that the channel became kind of popular, is that I will do tutorials for the old farts like me that are joining into retirement. And it's been working. It's taken off. I mean, I got a whole following of guys, baby boomers that are retiring, and they're all just following me because they're in the exact same boat. But what they like is that I took the time to piece together that whole instructional thing into a nice package. And I'm very slow and methodical. And I guess I have a knack for it. My career job always required that I had to do either safety videos or training procedures. So I think it was just a natural where I knew how to put together a training thing. And that's what happened. It just moved into that. And now I got like a podcast that I do once a week, and it just keeps growing. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That's cool.
That's all that matters, is that you're having fun.
Yeah,
when it gets to be a job, then it's yeah.
I mean, it's turned into way more than I thought, because first of all, you got the model building. There's now the photography, which I loved taking photos. And of course, I built a diorama so that all my stuff looks really cool in there. I did send some pictures of Mr. Duff, but evidently the files were too small, so I can't show those. But so the photographing those is a lot of fun. I love the editing process. And then my little special thing is I started doing green screen where I shrunk myself down right with my kits into my diorama and stuff like that. So there's a whole bunch of hobbies all rolled up into one. I mean, I feel like I'm busier now than I ever have been just doing this stuff.
Now all you need is a 3D printer.
Yes, I do want to get into that. I know it's pretty complex, but I've been watching you, James. So
you'll spread it real thin, your time, for sure.
Yeah. Now, summertime, I plan on slowing down a little bit because I want to get out on that bike. Last summer, because once again, when the channel blew up, I felt compelled to get a library of videos going because I had all these followers and only like 15 videos.
Right.
Well, nobody can binge watch me or anything. They'll be able to do that, knock that out in an afternoon, and then they'll move on to somebody else. So I build all summer long and produce videos. But, now I got like 120 videos out there. So I think I can slow down a little bit in the summer and enjoy this weather, especially after this winter, huh, guys? We're all high, right? It's been a rough winter.
It has.
That's been. I'm always curious, Ken. When we talk to people, it seems like their careers, what they did as a profession, somehow play a role in their model building. And obviously, you said you mentioned that you had a role making instructional videos. What did you do before you retired?
Well, my career job of 40 years was in production and quality management in the metal heat treating field, making steels harder, tougher, softer. So nothing really related to model building that I was able to pull from that. However, the safety and the quality training procedures and videos, that's about the only thing I was able to draw from it.
Okay.
But I got tired of that back in around 2000, and I started an automotive detailing business. And that was a lot of fun for about 7 years until I moved back to Ohio, where I couldn't really do it anymore. But I got to do all kinds of show cars, and I met a lot of collectors. Some of the big high rollers at Bear Jackson Scottsdale would have me out there, whatever they bought. Like they'd buy a dozen cars at the auction for $500,000 to $1 million, but they couldn't stand that little bit of orange peel. But get this, guys. I just started my detail business, but I always detailed on the side for my own stuff and painted a few cars in my garage. But this one millionaire, he asked me, hey, can you take this car? He just paid $500,000 for it. Can you sand it all down to like a show car finish and buff that all out to a mirror? And absolutely. Yes, I can. So I did it. And it was a Superbird. And I disassembled a lot of the car. I pulled off all the stickers and decals, the big Superbird stuff. All this without ever really having much experience in it. But I pulled it off and did it. So then that started a whole bunch of other cars to do. So that kind of got into the model building because that's where my paint, buffing, sanding, finishing experience comes from,
Very cool.
Can you walk through your process real fast? Like on cut and buff. What products do you like to use? On models, sorry.
Oh, on models, okay. Yeah, I use a mixture of two different paints. I like the MCW paints and their 2K clear enamels. And I'm also recently getting into the Kaleido water-based stuff. And they got a new water-based clear. I think you've done some experiment with that.
Right.
I really like that clear because it sounds almost as good as my 2K stuff. So what I'll do is I'll let the paint all cure out. And first of all, I try to spray it on as smooth as I can. So generally, I'm pretty much dust-free and just a little bit of orange peel in it.
Right.
I'll generally start with like 3/1000 grit Trizac and sand the car down to smooth, wet sanding. And then I like the Trizac. There's just something about it. It just feels very smooth on the body. Feels like it's very easy, but yet it's pretty aggressive. And after
the only thing with the Trizac is it doesn't seem to block well. It takes the layers off, but it doesn't seem to block, if you know what I'm saying.
I do. And if I have a problem with that, I go to like mesh screen sandpaper and and a block. Like if I try to move a dust knob out.
Right.
Because you're right, it'll just kind of go over it and smooth it. And no matter how flat you go, you have that little bump where you had that piece of dust.
Right.
So yes, you're right. I'll do that if I have to. But I love the Trizac, and I'll do the 3/1000 until I'm totally flat. And then I'll step up to 5/1000 Trizac, do it all again. And then I'll step up to 8/1000 and I still Trizac. And then I finish with 12/1000 mesh cloth because I don't even think they make a Trizac that's 12. Right. And the Trizac is a 3M product, by the way. By then, as you probably know, if you do 12/1000 grit, you're almost pretty shiny right there. And then I use Meguiar's Plastics.
Oh, okay.
There's all kinds of different polishes and compounds out there, but I'll use this as my first polish. And I'll use these little flannel shirt stuff like what I'm wearing. When I get too fat for my shirts, I cut them up. So I'll do that completely, and I'll use the microfiber to clean it up. And then I go over it one more time with Meguiar's Ultimate Polish.
Okay.
And I don't wax. I just do this. And this is like a glaze here. So this removes it doesn't really remove them, but it will fill any little tiny micro scratchers and give you a really nice, brilliant shine. Okay. I don't like waxing because if I bare metal foil after the fact,
it doesn't stick.
But it's working pretty good for me. I'm still relatively new at building. I think the one thing that I really have in my favor is I've mastered the painting.
That's 90%. Yeah.
The build process is still something that I'm learning every day. especially getting into custom stuff, which I'm now doing. There we go. See if I can get some shine in the lights here. See that trunk lid there.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, this pale yellow doesn't gloss up so much. Well, it glosses up good. It just doesn't show the shine so much. But, so my painting, I kind of got down, and then I was doing box stock, like right before the show. James says, well, you couldn't build too many models, so you just started. But I did about 34 builds now. But I have a sponsor of 3D Parts now, Model Makers Workshop, and that's got me into the whole new thing now because I don't have the printer, but I have a sponsor who's sending me stuff to try, and it's pretty cool. So, I started out with engines and wheels and tires, and fitting those things into the body. So, I'm starting to get more advanced now. And what's cool is I bring my audience along with me because everybody's kind of a beginner like me, most of my fan base. And they're actually, the feedback they're giving me from my videos and stuff is quite good. I mean, some of them are sharing their paint jobs, and it's like, well, yeah, buddy, you got this. And they said, man, I can paint like crap for about 5 years, and all of a sudden you come along, and my paint jobs are beautiful. So it makes me feel really good. But now I'm getting into resin bodies, kind of like James here. I got one to build. I got a 5-window hot rod to do. I've got
black box.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got like tubbing kits and stuff like that. I'm going to start experimenting with. I'm going to start opening doors. So, I'm getting my audience along with me on that. So I'm sure I'll hock a few up before I get there, but it's kind of what it is. I'm growing, and my audience is kind of growing with me, basically.
Yeah.
Now you're all about to take a dive off the deep end here. Here comes the resin in the aftermarket. Look out.
Yeah, but I gotta admit, I still just enjoy knocking out a box kit, because it's relaxing, It's like comfort food, If
we're talking a strange language to Sean over there. He can't build anything box stock except
he's building that test shot box stock,
right? Unless it's for a test shot.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And then as soon as he photographs it, he changes it.
That's true.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I like the artistic expression of. I'll have an idea for something, and I want to build. I want to be able to visualize it, and box stock feels restrictive. Also, I'm not a perfectionist, so I actually really appreciate guys that build box stock. In fact, trying to build this 55 Chevy just out of the box, I'm like, I realize you have an appreciation for people that really are good box stock builders, because a lot of kits are difficult to build. And when you're limited to only what's in the box, you've got to overcome all the flaws of the engineering, especially if it's an older kit and there's large gaps between surfaces, and so once you master some of the techniques of scratch building and some other stuff, it just makes modeling easier, I think.
Did I hear you say this though, that you are not a perfectionist?
Yeah, I'm not a perfectionist. If you saw my models up close, you'd be like, okay, yeah, he's not a perfectionist.
I have. I introduced myself to you at the show. It's like, man, I got to meet this guy.
I didn't know we needed hip waders. Getting kind of deep in here all of a sudden.
Well,
I don't really build for contests and stuff like that, because there's tons of flaws all over my kit. In fact, I hardly ever polish out the paint. If you see my paint jobs, you'll find dust and stuff in there, because it's not really. I just don't really enjoy certain aspects of model building. For me, it's about trying to get an idea out in a 3D form, and once I've done that, some of the details, I don't wire engines and stuff like that, because I just don't enjoy that aspect of the hobby. But I really appreciate other people that do.
Yeah.
If I could just paint bodies and do decals and polish clear coat, that's all the only parts I enjoy. The rest of it, I don't want to do chassis. I don't want to do engines. I don't want to do interiors. I just want to do bodies.
I agree. I wish I could box them up and send them off to Grandpa Mark down the street or something. Let him do the rest for me. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm learning so much. And then, I just started, being that I just started. So last year was my first set of shows, and I did about 5 or 6 shows. And man, I mean, well, you guys know, but you go to a show and you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of the greatest builds you ever seen. And it humbles you for sure. But I'm comfortable where I am. I cannot build like most of the guests you guys had are master builders, in my opinion. I am not, but I appreciate you having me. I'm just at a different stage, but I embrace it. I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm comfortable with it, and I aspire to get there. But some of those builds take 6 months to a year to get perfection, which I might do one on the side without cameras or anything. I think that's the best way to go, because building in front of a camera is very difficult.
And once you've announced, I'm building this, now you're committed to building that. You can't just put it aside and work on something else.
Exactly.
I'm curious, because I watch you guys' videos. I'm like, do you have a camera? Are you like building out in front of you? Like, are you able to actually?
No, I do. I have a camera mount right in front of my face, and I work around it so that you have first person point of view.
Because usually when I'm working on stuff, it's like right, I'm holding it. I'm like, I can't imagine like a camera separate.
Or I'll look around the camera at it, right?
Well, that's the problem for me, Sean, is I have a downward facing camera right on my mat. But when I'm really getting close up, I pull that off the mat right up close to me, like here. And then I realized, I watched my take. It's like, okay, I just did a whole bare metal foil and the car was never in frame. So, it's tough. And when I was painting in my spray booth, I used to have the camera right here, and I would straddle that with an airbrush in the booth. And, so I miss a lot of details. If I ever try to go for a master award-winning build, which I might do for fun, I will not film it at all. I'll do a finale, a reveal.
And what are the aspects of model building that you find most challenging?
Well, because I'm kind of like James, I love the paint and decal part of it. So the rest of it just isn't that fun to me. So at first I was just slapping my interiors together with just a solid color. And, if there was a decal for the dashboard, it went on there or whatever. Well, so I'm trying to get better at that. But it's just not the funnest part for me, like detailing a dashboard with these big fat Polish fingers. But my worst part is final assembly. I don't know what it is. Even if I do a dry fit in the beginning, which, I learned to do after my first dozen builds, is stop and dry fit it first. And they look like they all fit like a glove. And then and all my sub assemblies are beautiful. And I'm like, this is going to be my best one yet. And then when I go to put them together, things don't fit. And then when I'm forcing it, I'm popping off mirrors, and I'm popping off glass, and I'm popping off grills. So I think final assembly is my worst aspect.
I think you get in a rush, and when you see the finish line, you kind of get in a rush, and that's the time you make mistakes.
That's probably it. Trying to build for the camera, it bites me every time.
I think another problem, and it's something I noticed from digging through some kits here recently, is that for better or worse, most of the Asian manufacturers have figured out a way to design their kits so that there are hubs or slots or something on the front and the back of them, and you're sticking it in one way, flexing it a little bit, and then popping the front end in. American kits never have had that construction format, because you're always sticking chrome bumpers on last at the end, so there's nothing to slot the chassis into. So you're trying to wedge all that stuff into a body that you're trying desperately not to scratch the top of as you're doing it. And there's not really a butt goes in first, then slides in, front tucks in, walk away, it's all done. That's not a construction process for a domestic kit for the most part.
Right. I almost missed the old screw bottom kits.
I'd say that's the design they're still working off of, is the idea that you would screw them together, but that, you don't anymore. You're just trying to shove a lot of material into a very small opening that you're wedging apart, mostly through the door opening, to get it to fit.
Right.
And get the fender wells to go up inside. One of the greatest innovations was putting the fender wells in the body, so they're not on the chassis anymore, and you're not trying to wedge them into the engine compartment with the engine with it.
Yeah.
I can think of 68 Corvette by Revell. I remember those wheel wells popping out as I was jamming it all together.
Yeah. I don't know how many kits I've struggled to get the chassis into. That's like, there's always like anxiety when you've got to make the completed chassis to a completed interior and a completed body. And you're right. And it seems like no matter how many times you test fitted, it never fails. It doesn't fit when you go to do the final assembly, and there's grinding on painted parts that has to happen, and re-gluing of things that have been knocked off, and it's just part of the process.
Plus the whole super glue, the CA glue thing is all new to me too, because back when I was a kid, it was a tube of testers, but I've learned that paint on paint, you don't do that because it melts all the paint and doesn't melt the styrene very good. But the super glue does it. It all kind of like flies off and explodes when it wants to come off.
I try not to use super glue. It always ends up on my finger, which then ends up on the side of the car.
Yeah.
So I try not to use it.
Yeah.
Unless I absolutely have to.
You scrape it off then and go to styrene glue? Yeah.
No. I just hit it with a dot of this.
Yeah, the Tamiya. Okay.
Right. It melts the paint and the plastic all together.
Okay.
One thing about Tamiya extra thin is that it is chemically 1% off to 51 to 49 as the glue, and it's split the other way, 51 to 49% as their airbrush cleaner. So basically, glue is lacquer thinner, and that's what's melting the thing. So if it'll melt, lacquer thinner is obviously going to take the paint off of anything. You're cleaning your airbrush with it, so it will melt the paint off and then melt the plastic afterwards. But then, on details on the outside, that's a problem, right? I melted the paint off my model to put my mirror on. Whoops, that's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to try that. I hadn't even considered it because
just like in a corner,
just
a corner of where you want, where you won't see, just put a dab and it capillary action goes through. Perfect.
Yeah. And then all the little details on the outside, mirrors and door handles, I've been pinning.
Oh, you pin them? Okay.
Yeah. I've learned mainly for shows because, if it just goes on a shelf, it's fine. But I've gone to the first couple of shows I went to, by the time I got home, I was missing all my mirrors and my door handles. They were all gone, Yeah. They just fallen off.
Deluxe makes a glue and glaze. This is like a super glue of PVA, white glue. Good stuff. I use this for windows and whatnot. And then this is a Japanese product called Semidine, and it's actually rhinestone adhesive. And this is clear, and it works well. It takes a little while to dry, but it sets up well. So I'll do mirrors and exterior body pieces with one of these two glues, so that it dries clear and it's pretty strong.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll try those. I use Mod Podge, which is a white.
Right. Same. Right. Except for it comes in a tub.
Yeah. And I like the UV resin. I've been getting into that too.
I was just going to ask you guys about that.
It's sticky, so it'll kind of hold something in place. Better than glue running down, and then you get that light in there, and once that light cures it, it's working pretty good for me.
Yeah.
I just ordered, so I got a shout out to my friend Urban Arter Rake, because I watched a video of him using that, and I was like, you know what, I got to try that stuff. I just ordered some on Amazon, so I'm excited to.
Oh, you are going to love that stuff. It makes great lenses for dashboards. It makes great taillights, and parking lights. Sometimes it's way better than the plastic kit lights that come with the kit. Yeah, I use it for all kinds.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And really, that's just clear resin. Like I buy the 2 kilogram bottle to print with, but it's the same thing as the glue.
Oh, okay.
It's just clear resin.
Okay, yeah, because when you print, you still use a UV process to cure, right?
Correct.
And you can tint that stuff too, like in color. Can you put like clear red in it? And
Yes.
Yes, you can.
what are you tinting it with?
I use
Tamiya.
The clear Tamiya.
Yeah. And I've also found that I don't even have to really do that. I'll go with the Tamiya clear first and then put that clear resin on top of it. You could do it either way, but I find that if I put the clear resin on top of a clear color, that it still looks like a lens. It's working for me.
You'll have to play with that, Sean.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was really, I was wanting to use it on like dashboard lenses and stuff like that. A lot of times you get the decal and you put it on and it looks okay, but it's like there's another level of realism. You can put like a clear lens like on front of it. So
oh yeah, you'll like that, and little lights on the sides of the car stuff. All those, because most kits don't give you a lens for those.
Right.
So yeah, you're gonna fall in love with it. I guarantee you. It's one of my favorite tools.
That was good too.
Years ago, before that, people would hole punch clear acetate and stick that in the holes.
Oh, never thought of that.
Yeah, the old school way.
I got a shout out. Give a shout out for Gallery. I just bought the new metallic pens that they have.
Markers, yeah.
Markers.
I don't have those yet.
These are great. These are really, really good. I enjoy using them a lot. I was watching, is it Matt's Models? Has a YouTube channel, I think, recommended. He did a comparison between those and the AK markers. And I was like, that looks really interesting. And I ended up taking a swing and ordering a set. And I love them. They are awesome.
Yeah. Matt does a really good job of demoing stuff, so I've been buying the cheapies, which work too. So, but I got to try it. Like, Gallery's one of my sponsors. I think just about any model maker they sponsor, but I'm going to try their stuff. But these are just cheapies I get at Hobby Lobby, silvers and blacks and stuff. And yeah, I go through silver and black like crazy in all my little details. So
right.
I'll have to try them though. Thanks for the suggestion. I'm going to try that out.
I need to get a YouTube channel so I can get all the free stuff. Like you guys get all the swag.
No, careful. Somebody start counting your money. While we were gone, there was a whole shenanigan on a certain side of YouTube with people throwing a fit about how people are sponsored and the free stuff they get, and it was a very green envy of jealousy moment for the community there. So
yeah, I was mentioning on my show about 2 weeks ago where one of my followers, I was doing a video and I was demonstrating the Kaleido paints, and he just wrote, didn't take you long to sell out. And I got such a kick out of it. It's not like I'm peddling coffees and purses and non-model building stuff. I'm peddling things that actually work, and I'm demonstrating how they work, and and helping my fellow builders. So I don't consider selling out at all. Yeah,
I don't either.
Stuff. They don't give me everything free. They've given me things to try, but I have to buy stuff too.
And if you run across something that doesn't work or you don't care for it, just be honest.
Yes.
Just be honest, because people will see through it in a minute. You like the Kaleido paints? I didn't care for them. Myself, I just didn't care for them. So I did the review, but I wasn't, like, this is the greatest thing ever, because to me it wasn't. But just be true.
I know, and you and I have talked about it, and I saw your video where you literally ran one to the sink and washed it off mid-process. Good save.
It got lucky.
But on my videos that I've demoed that stuff, and it's too bad James couldn't put the pictures up, but I had a couple kits, black and a silver 56 Delray Chevy. The black is just so beautiful. You would never know that was a water-based acrylic. And I find it more difficult to spray, and I have to be a lot more careful. Like my favorite MCW enamels, I almost can close my eyes and paint with perfection with that stuff.
Okay.
The Kaleido, I really have to struggle with, and really the vision doesn't come through until I get to that final sanding and polishing, and then it's like, whoa. But it didn't look that good all the way until that point. And I point that out in my videos that it can be done. It's much more difficult, but there's so many people that have to use water-based.
Yeah, right.
You know, including myself. You know, when I spray lacquers down here and stuff, my wife, I'm surprised she hasn't divorced me yet. I mean, I stink up the whole house, you know.
You need a peacekeeper, brother.
Well, I have a nice paste booth, but I'm venting inside to a canister right now, which.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm lucky to have a window.
Yeah. Next winter, I'm putting a hole through the wall. I mean, my booth is right. I have a walkout basement, and my booth is right next to a door. So spring, summer, and fall, all I do is open that door, and my vent is going right out the door right next to my booth, and it's fine. Right. But in the wintertime here, when we got 13 inches of snow and I can't even get the door open, and it's 8 degrees, I don't want the door open. You know?
Yeah, I get it.
That's the beauty of the Mahoning Valley.
Yeah. Yeah, James, I was surprised you went to YSU and got some stuff.
Yeah, I'd say I live south of Pittsburgh now, and this is actually the house my grandfather built in '57, and we moved up to Cortland, which is the next county up from where Ken lives, and in 92, I guess it would have been. I was still in middle school, so I went to high school there, and then I did a semester and a half at Kent State. I did 2 semesters at YSU, and then got into my career that I'm doing now, which didn't need a college degree for. So, yay. So then I never went back, but it was kind of amusing. I was just up in Youngstown 3-4 months ago at YSU, and I was like, man, like none of this stuff was here last time I was here. They built so much up around the campus. There's a lot of residence housing that wasn't there before, but like just the general area around there, there's a lot of restaurants and stuff that were not, you know, obviously talking about 1997 and 1998, but there's a lot of stuff there that whole neighborhood is wildly different than it was when I went there.
That's correct. Youngstown skyline has barely changed in the last 75 years, but YSU blew up. They really made a beautiful campus out of that.
Yeah.
I work like within walking distance of YSU, so.
And so we bumped into Ken at a bunch of different, you know, Ohio shows and then I heard him mention somewhere in the back being around Youngstown, and I was like, oh, he's around Youngstown. And then I looked at your YouTube channel, and you have your post office box up there, and I was like, that's not Youngstown, that's the next town over.
Yeah, I'm in a suburb.
I was like, oh, he you know, he's really in between us all, because, you know, James up there in Cleveland, I'm in Pittsburgh, the Sean's over in Columbus. You're there in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle of this podcast.
Yeah, I'm actually in Poland, Ohio, but
yeah.
I think everybody be asking me, where's that? So I might as well stick with Youngstown. Youngstown's only 10 minutes away, you know.
I think it's also interesting if you sat the 4 of us together and you have people go, oh, you know, I don't have a local hobby shop anymore. For some reason, this area, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cleveland, Youngstown, because I think there's the hobby shop's still out there, and it's Austintown Boardman out there on 224. It's still there, right?
It is. It's a ghost of its former self, but it's still open.
Yeah, I had Trumbull Cameron.
5 years old.
Yeah. I had Trumbull and Cameron hobby when I was a kid, and that whole building is gone now. But like, there's still so many hobby shops that are still alive in one way or another, you know, in the area. Pittsburgh, I mean, we've had 2 closed, 2 open. I think we're still at 7 in the metro area down here.
Wow.
Columbus has 3, if you count, I think, both branches of Hobbyland that's over there.
Yeah.
And then I think Wings and Wheels is still open in Lakewood, plus a couple other places up there towards Cleveland. The Rust Belt, we still have our hobby shops. We haven't found anything better to do yet.
I want to get to that one in Cranberry. I can't remember the name.
Hobby Express.
Is that a good place?
It's I'll tell you what, it's huge. They've got a little bit of everything. It's a really good kit selection. I used to go up there all the time. I used to work when I was doing the contract at the post office. The place where we parked our trucks was like 5 blocks away from there on the other side of the main highway. And you go in there and they're like, all kits, 15% off. And I would go to the guy who owns it. Why don't you just price the kits 15% less all the time? I mean, instead of having a sale, just price them less. Because if you've ever heard of Auto Models, John Betker, he's all those shows. He usually has a huge wall of kits. And if you do anything in Ohio, Pennsylvania, that's what you've seen it before.
Yeah. And
like his prices are like 25% above wholesale. So his stuff is really priced like basically Hobby Lobby 40% off pricing. And right. I go up to those guys and like they're a hair below MSRP, and then you get the 15% off. Like, why don't you just price it? Well, people buy stuff when they think it's on sale. Okay, that might work for like some lady at Kohl's, but like model builders, serious model builders, we know how much these kits cost. We price comparison. We know how much it costs to get it off eBay or out of Model Roundup or wherever. Like, I know what the kit costs. You're not impressing me by making me go try to figure out the math and go, okay, this is $35.99, so that's $5. Okay, so that's a good one. Yeah. They've got a lot of stuff. I just don't understand that. Like, they have every single paint and glue, and they've got Citadel, Warhammer, and every paint you could ever want. They have there. But,
well, that's it. We're all geeks now, and we all load up on all the accessories. So go ahead and give a deal on the model kits, and we'll pay for it in the paints and the supplies.
All right, it's like a car dealership, right? Give me a deal on the car, I'll bring it back here and get all the servicing done and all the parts and labor and everything here. That's how you make your money anyway.
Right.
But anyway, I have Betker's place from my house now is 20 minutes. I'm going to be starting a new gig in like 2 weeks, and it'll be like 10 minutes away from where I'm going to be working at. It's like I love having a local hobby shop for the parts, for the pieces of parts and the paint and that stuff. Like the kits, yeah. I mean, the shipping part would be disadvantage to pay for shipping when the hobby shop is close by. But it's the paint and the stuff that you can't get. It's a pain in the ass to get spray paint sent through the mail.
Right.
Yeah. And the shipping is so expensive. And then like MCW, I love their paints. And I try to save up where I'm going to order like a dozen paints at one time. I no sooner get that order in, and then I think to myself, God, I wanted blue and I wanted a silver too. So now I put another order in and pay shipping again.
Yeah, whenever I have to order something from an aftermarket company, I always order like, because of the shipping costs. I'm like, well, I guess I might as well order like 5 or 6 extra things. It's like in order to feel like, some companies offer like free shipping at like $50 or something. Like, well, I guess I got to get to that level in order to get the free shipping. Or it feels like I just want to get the value out of like, the extra dollars amortized across multiple things. And so I end up ordering way more than I know I'm probably going to use right away. But it's like, well,
yeah,
that shipping thing, I'm such a cheapskate. I got to get the value out of the shipping.
That's why I like the shows too, because you pick up a lot of cool stuff there and avoid the shipping.
Right.
In fact, I got a kit I'm buying from James when we get to Columbus, so hold that one aside.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got a question for the group. I'm assuming you all watched the Toy Fair announcements.
I did not, but I heard some releases. James, you got a full report for us?
Oh yeah, I suppose I should do that. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. We're gonna bounce through a bunch of different stuff, so bear with me because God forbid I label this. If I would label this stuff, it would be helpful, but that would be silly. So we're going to talk about like a bunch of stuff, right? So we got the German toy fair is in here. There's a couple of Japanese things to talk about, and then I have a bunch of stuff from Round 2. So we are going to start here, since this is just the first thing into the file. It's the official release of these 86 and Subaru BRZ HKS kits. These are going to be coming out in 5 of 2026 here, so May of 2026. Body kit is the same on both these. Differences in decals and the wheels. Then we have at
Is that Oshima? Sorry, was that Oshima?
Yeah, it's Aoshima. At the German Toy Fair, Revell was showing the prototype of this, which is going to be their new 1/20th scale McLaren F1 car. Interestingly, these F1 cars are going to be snap tight kits, or the snap click,
Interesting.
whatever they're calling it. But if you look back here in the background, this snap tight kit is 171 parts.
Wow.
I don't believe I've ever heard of a 171 part snap tight kit before, but I'm intrigued. Not intrigued enough to buy one because I don't do open wheel racing, but it's our friend John Brolin, I know once, is very interested in these. It's very interesting to see modern F1 cars because there hasn't been one since Tamiya did the Ferrari SF70, I think that was, and that was like a 2018, 2019 season car. So it's been a hot minute since there's been a injected styrene F1 car. Now Alpha model has done some, New Scratch have done some, but they're $200 multimedia resin kits. I don't know what a price point here is going to be, but I assume it's not $200.
Probably not, right.
Hey, let me ask you guys, what's the thinking behind the 1/20th scale? I know a lot of Indy cars and the F1 cars are in that scale.
That's Tamiya's fault.
Right.
Like so many things in scale modeling, it's Tamiya's fault. I mean, 1/35th scale exists because that was the smallest thing they could stick an RC motor into, and 1/20th is just the scale they decided to go with. I think it might also be because it was the smallest scale they could put a toy motor into back in some of the earliest F1 cars that were still motorized. Also, 120. The 124 scale F1 car is only going to be, like 6 or 7 inches long. These cars, even though they've bulked up a little bit, are still tiny compared to a regular car.
Now bikes are all 1/12
or 1/9 if you get Italy involved in something.
Right.
And then this was the sort of the big picture of Revell Germany's thing. The Revelto is technically out. We haven't got our US box of it yet, but it is the kit is out in Europe. The McLaren 720S or 750S, excuse me, that's the next new tool. It's done. It should be out in the spring sometime. I could probably take or leave the fact that this is opening doors. I love the fact that it's a McLaren because I have a large collection of McLarens at this point, and like this slots in nicely with all of those. And then the new announcement, for some reason, it's also much larger than in these other things. I was
looking at maybe it's because it's closer.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's a prototype, and they're like, look at this big new thing, but they're doing the current last because this car is going out of I think 2027 is going to be the last year for it. But the Mercedes AMG GT, the street car. They did the last generation of it back in, I guess it would have been 2015 or so.
Yeah.
And so it'd be fun to have this come out. The hood looks like the hood's separate, so this should be a full detail kit as well. They're saying delivery date of July. I'm going to say that's probably optimistic, given this is a 3D prototype and not actual plastic. I do appreciate the fact that the glue kits are now called Build and Paint.
What were they before?
No lie detected, but also very amusing. They were just, they didn't have a name to them. Like I guess because Snap Click is the Snap Tight line, so Build and Paint lets you actually have to build and paint it. And the Corvette Cabriolet is down here because the Europeans are just getting that kit now. It's been out in the United States for a couple of months, but they're just getting their copies of it. And then let's see, next we're gonna go to
wait, you skipped one, James. Actually, the one that I was really excited about.
The Simba up here.
Yeah. I thought
that's a reissue.
That thing's cool. I got to get one of those. I want to build one.
Off-road style, right?
Yeah. I was like,
throw some big fender flares on the outside of this.
I would cut that thing up and make a cool off-road overlanding rig out of it. So
I think the Simba 8x8, this is like an 81, 82 tooling. It's been around for a while. a good long time at this point. Also, the Fast and the Furious is having its anniversary, so it's off the corner of the screen here. But if you can see it, there's the This is Dom's 71 GTX down here. This is a reissue of Dom's 70 Charger. So for anybody who has been looking for that Dodge Charger, because it was in, it was out. Hobbyco went bankrupt, and it's never been reissued since then. That's gonna get a reissue this year. Red Wheel, the guy over in the Ukraine, made the right wheels and a right grill for that. It was always kind of odd that he decided to do that because the kit wasn't available, but now, hey, look, the kit's going to be available again. So if you're interested in making that car more accurate to the movie. Like I said, Hasegawa is a Sprinter Truno. Probably doesn't mean anything to anyone. I'm not sure this car technically even existed in the United States, but this is going to be a new body and some interior pieces on the A92 Corolla Levin. Yay. If you didn't, I mean, so how much does anybody here care? I care, but nobody else does. Mobius is doing a run of the 63 Nova SS convertible, the coupe, and the 78 Monte Carlo Landau coupe there. These are done by Trumpeter. Trumpeter still owns the tooling. This is not a case like Galaxy where they bought the tooling. The Trumpeter still has the tooling. Trumpeter ran these kits. If you have an issue with how they're constructed or the chrome plating or anything else, take it up with Trumpeter. It's not Mobius's fault, but they are being sold by Mobius in their boxing. If you've seen any of these kits when they were out originally, these are just the Trumpeter box art with Mobius logos on it. I've always appreciated this one because, in case you want to fly your Sopwith Camel here while you're driving your 78 Monte Carlo around, it's an interesting choice of a box. Actually, all of these really are, because this one, okay, makes sense. You're surfing, but why are we at a European ski chalet in our 63 Nova? Could you have even gotten a 63 Nova in Europe at the time? I'm not sure, but anyway, those are back out. Those have been released. Most places are running them somewhere between like $43 and $45 a piece. So that's the price range you're looking at. Another Aoshima kit here. It's the next version of the 180SX tuner cars in the B Wave. I showed this to Tester, and he was like, well, no, I think we've reached James's limit of 180SX tuners at 5, so that's there. Tamiya at the Nuremberg Toy Show introduced this new mirror chrome paint. This will be interesting, I think, only because when you read what this says, it says cannot be applied. This is the primer, mind you, right? So if you're thinking like, oh, I'll mask off my chrome trim and I'll paint the chrome trim primer, and then with the mirror paint, sort of like the way you would with all clad, because this is essentially that kind of principle where it's a black base and a chrome paint. Oh wait, cannot be applied over acrylic or enamel paints and may damage lacquer and Tamiya TS sprays, which are acrylic lacquers. Always test on unwanted parts for you. I want to know what exactly is in this primer that it eats everything, including possibly also the model itself. Because it says applying too thickly may damage the plastic surface. So it doesn't require dilution. You can't use this with anything else other than this mirror paint, according to the instructions here. So what is the chemical composition of this other than like Chernobyl fluid? What is the composition of this primer that it's going to eat everything in its sight? Like, is it if I put it in my airbrush, is it going to eat the paint cup? I'm curious. And then this over here also says don't paint clear layers on top of the mirror paint. I kind of wonder whether or not this is going to be any different than anything else in the sense that it's not going to have any durability to touch.
Well, I'll sneak some in my luggage on the way home.
I know Brian has been talking because Andy from Andy Hobby Headquarters, who he works for, was in Germany to announce his 1/35th scale half tracks, and there's a picture of those two, of him and the current Mr. Tamiya, which would be the Mr. Tamiya's grandson, who now runs the company, shaking hands. And he was like, oh, we're going to try to see if we can get this. I'm like, just take it. You're there. He's there. You know him. You shook hands. Say, hey, let me have a sample of that to take back to the United States, because it could be great, because Tamiya products are great, but I also don't know what to expect out of this, because it's like the primer. The primer is going to eat everything, including the model kit, and then I don't know if this chrome's going to be any better than any other chrome. So
mystery fluid.
Yeah,
We can wait for Matt's review of it.
Let's say, yeah, let's say what Mr. Tester's going to Japan in April, so he literally could smuggle some back with him.
I will.
What's that?
I will.
And say, also in this click system, the 120th car, we showed the McLaren. There's also a Red Bull racing car coming out, which is kind of fun also because Red Bull's usually a pretty big piss in the ass about their licensing. So to be able to do this, I wonder how much that cost.
That one will be $100. The other one will be 50.
Yeah, exactly. Also announced from Revell, it was a 1/16th scale Brian's R34.
Interesting.
Also in this click system, which that doesn't surprise me necessarily because Revell did those Porsche 356s that were 1/16 scale. One was a snap tight kit, one was a glue kit. So a big snap tight kit, not surprising. This, I get it, it's the 25th anniversary, but this I don't understand. Like it's just, it doesn't fit with anything else they have. It's the wrong scale because if you think of like big scale GTRs, Fujimis are 1/12.
Right.
So it's kind of an oddball thing, unless they're going to do a series of them. But then I don't know how much mileage does Tokyo Drift have at this point. Enough to do this kit, obviously. But
that was Too Fast, Too Furious. That car.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, but still, I don't know. I'm confused. It's so far past the movie for this at this point. But if it sells for them, cool. An announcement that was made at the North Toy Fair that hasn't gotten a lot of press anywhere else is the fact that Round 2 and their private equity partnership, because they've sold, you may recall, a number of years ago, Round 2 sold like 49% of the company to a private equity firm. They have bought Lionel, as in like the train Lionel, and they're merging it into this Lionel Brands group where I guess because Lionel is the more recognizable name of anything else on this banner, technically speaking in a large toy sense, because, we all know AMT and FEC, but is that a
Most
name
people
that
don't, right?
Don't, yeah, exactly. So, because people were saying, Lionel bought Round 2, but if you look at the order of names here, it's Round 2, Auto World, then Lionel, and then the model companies, and then we get into the diecast stuff down here on the bottom. There's been a lot of conjecture about, what does this mean for AMT and NPC? I would think I'd be more worried about what it means to trains and high-end NASCAR diecast, because that's what got bought, not the other way around.
Right.
I think that, there's a lot of worry, of course, when the private equity company came into being with Round 2. That was a injection of liquid capital, right, Tom? Lowe, who owns the company, has a lot of money. He's the son of the guy who invented cat litter, for lack of a better explanation. And, well, he is. I mean, his dad invented Tidy Cat. And all that money they got from selling half the company went into everything that you bought in the last 3 years. It's all the 3D, redos of the 68 Coronet and the 63 Nova and the Nomad and the 65 Barracuda and all the Demon and the new Duster and all the things that we're going to talk about here in a couple of seconds. I don't think in any way, shape, or form you can look at what they've done and been like, well, you know what? They've been a really lousy steward of that money. They just wasted it on crap. Now, I think we've gotten a pretty good run of good stuff out of that money that they've gotten. So be that as it is. Here's Sean's test shot that he didn't build. Somebody else clearly built a white glue review of this kit. James, are you responsible for this?
No, sir.
So this is the Hot Wheels candy stripper. I assume it's Striper, right?
Yep.
And so as Sean already explained, you're getting a new body thrown onto the Gasser Nomad chassis, basically. A bunch of other parts added in here. It also does look very much like a certain movie 55. Your mileage may vary for that. They're going to, we talked to Steve about this, they're doing a whole bunch of work to the 69 Mustang body to make it look more like a 69 Mustang, and B, specifically the movie car, which has this lower body cladding on it that doesn't exist on the actual like one-to-one. It is a separate piece. You don't have to put it on. Don't freak out, people. The mirrors are also pinned. which they haven't been in the past. And so you're going to get John Wick's hero car. Again, your mileage may vary as to how much you care about that. One of the bigger announcements that got a lot of play this week is the fact that they are doing an Dodge A100 van. It has a Batman tie-in, so it's interesting to see exactly what was required to get this kit done 65 years after the original one was tooled. But everything I've seen has been complaining that the pillars are too thick, which they possibly may be. I don't know. I'm not a van expert. But this will be a new body on what I presume will be the Little Red Wagon's chassis and interior and everything else.
That's what I've guessed too.
And I say, if you look at this, whatever's white is stuff they've already had. Whatever's gray is new. So
this one was news to me. I had no idea this was in the works. So that was kind of cool.
I presume the doors won't open on this, thank God.
They don't, right. I talked to Steve and they don't.
Okay. Our man on the street, Mr. Tester, didn't watch this video, but he knows more about it than I do. Another big thing got a lot of play is the Home Alone Dodge Ram van. So this is an 86 Dodge Ram. This part, like the big chunk in the middle, is obviously the Dodge Ram that you know and love from MPC. New grille, new 86 specific bumpers. I believe the running boards are new, as well as the roof rack and all the accoutrement on top of here to make the plumbing van. It was pointed out to the guy who built the test shot of this, because he's one of the members of the forum that's used to be Motorcars Magazine, but it's not associated with the magazine anymore, that they're like, oh, these mirrors, they're weird looking. And the guy was like, oh, it must have got damaged when it was shipped. And somebody's like, no, this is supposed to go out. Like, it's supposed to be an east-west arrangement, not a north-south arrangement. So this is the benefit of building things without instructions, right, Sean?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I get this all the time. Like, what is this part? How's it supposed to go? I have no idea.
Unless you've looked at a picture of the real, van, do you know that those mirrors stick out rather than up? Probably not. You think West Coast mirrors, that's the way they mount, right? I didn't realize they were wrong either until somebody showed me a picture of the real van.
Sean, you built that Hellcat without instructions, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, piece. Actually, I think I actually asked Steve Goldman. I think he sent me some CAD shots so I could see how some of the assemblies went together. But this particular kit, I did the box art for the new Home Alone van.
You did?
Yeah. So I had known about that one for a while. I knew that was coming.
How about the My Little Pony?
Yeah, were you responsible for the My Little Pony Mustang here?
Had nothing to do with this one.
I put this on here only because the amount of nonsense that immediately fell out of the internet. Look, I get it, right? No serious guy is going to go buy this unless it's for, I don't know, your granddaughter. Like, can we just stop being like pigs for like half a second and realize the potential that this kid has to attract kids, especially female children, to do something with their dads or their grandfathers or their uncles or whoever? Like, it's not meant for you. Stop acting like it's meant for you. This isn't costing you a single penny. Relax. It's ridiculous. Here's the box art for that Hot Wheels 55 Bel Air.
Cool.
So that is the fastest model cars in the world. I like the fact that we've added a model into this. So I think the box art will sell a few kits. I think people will look at that and go, "I have to have that."
Yeah, that's it's pretty cool that they're doing the Hot Wheels. I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long. It seemed like a natural thing to do, but so that's cool.
Now, anybody who went to Akron last year saw this in its test shot format, the 63 Pontiac Le Mans convertible. Here's your box art. And it can't be that far away because it has the Retro Deluxe sticker stuck to it. So they've got that printed up already. This is a revamp of the old tool, new body, basically. A lot of the parts from the Le Mans still existed. Some of it's been retooled, obviously, but the body, the hardtop body or the coupe body, I'm not sure if it's a post or a coupe, but irrespective of that, went in to become the ultra wheelbase car. And so obviously the convertible body doesn't exist anymore. So for fans of of this type of vehicle, I'm not sure, but let's put it a mid-size Pontiac, not a full size, but yeah, if you're interested in that type of thing, again, that private equity capital I was just talking about went into recreating this, and you don't have to pay $425 for an original one anymore. Something that I thought should have been done to this, I don't know, 40 years ago. They're making a Mitsubishi out of their Dodge D50 kit. Now, yeah, the kit itself's kind of sketchy. Somebody was just building one of these online and was like, this kit's like really kind of hard to build. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of 1980s AMT. But you're getting obviously the Mitsubishi grill's getting thrown in here. The bed, if you wanted to, tips up like a dump truck, so this can be built like a mini truck style. I think it actually says mini truck right here, doesn't it? But anyway, I've always thought that these would have been interesting. I mean, nobody would have done it at the time because nobody cared, but to do these as the actual imports they are, like take the Ford Courier and throw the Mazda parts into it. I mean, it's a grill, right? A grill and some decals. So that's kind of fun to see them it's a very easy lift, throw a few pieces in, and you have a whole new model that's never existed. And is that, nope, we're done that way. So go back to the new tooling poster. So this was the big reveal to an extent. We've seen the Mac B61 that was announced at Detroit back in November. So that's been floating in the background. Another fun online experience because everybody said it was AI and it wasn't real, even though people at the show were like, no, we were there, we talked to the people. Didn't matter, it was AI, it wasn't real. So some other AI things that aren't real, a Dodge Monaco Bluesmobile. This is awesome. This is only 50 years out of date, but it's one of my favorite movies.
That's awesome.
I'll buy one. I don't even care if it's curbside. I don't even need any details. Just throw it in a box and sell it to me. I'm good. And then this down here, we're not calling it what it is. Everybody knows what this is. It'll be interesting to see if the licensing gets attached to call it what it really is. But this
Marty's
is an 85.
truck.
This is an 85 SR5 Toyota down here. Mr. Tester especially knows that one of my biggest things about like Back to the Future has always been like, why didn't anyone ever make Marty's truck? Like that was like a feature of the first film was like he comes back from the future and that 85 SR5 is sitting there as a Toyota kid. My parents bought Toyotas. That was like an SR5 or a 4Runner was like Super obviously, but it's a truck. Like those were like I wanted one of those so bad. Now the unfortunate part, it's the wrong scale, right? It's 1/25th scale. But all things considered, right. I didn't expect round 2 to be where I would ever get that truck out of. I always figured that would be an Aoshima kit at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's the age of the mini trucks. I feel like the mini trucks are untapped collector gold mine.
Well, people my age, right?
All right, Ken, I just talked for like 45 minutes straight.
Ken, what are you most excited about seeing of those new tools?
What do I think's most exciting?
Yeah.
Oh boy, it has to be that little Barbie one, or not the Barbie one, but
My Little Barbie. You gonna build one for your channel?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to tackle that one.
It's a snap tight.
Yeah, it could. I don't know. I like those Novas. I thought those Novas looked pretty cool. The convertible Novas, and the Mobius ones that are going to be coming through under the Mobius name.
Those weren't easy kits, if I remember. I've never owned one, but I remember people complaining that those aren't easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of about the suspension being fiddly.
Okay.
Yeah, I never built one.
Use a tube of glue, and you don't worry about this.
I had the convertible kit, and I ended up selling it. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it when I opened the box. Some of the body proportions to me are just off. I think they're I like the newer ones that they tooled from scratch. I think are more accurate.
Okay.
But if you want a convertible, it's probably the only kit it's the only game in town, really.
Right.
And it does have an opening trunk. It's got a lot of detail to it, actually. It is, if you're willing to put the effort into it, I'm sure it makes it into a nice kit.
Kind of like a turbine car. If you want to go to the trouble, that's a hell of a kit.
Yeah, it looks really cool. You built one.
The turbine car? No, I haven't built that. No.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought I saw one on your.
No, that one's I've had it twice and sold it twice. I bought it, looked at it, and said,
Are you talking about the original one with
the original one that with every opening feature,
right.
And
that one looks intimidating. I had one of those, and I was really impressed, by the way. And I'm like, why do kit manufacturers don't do this? The way that the kit sprues were designed, they actually stack together and fit together. Mm-hmm. And so they make like a sandwich, and you sit it inside the box. It's like, why are not all kits designed that way? That seems it was such a neat feature.
Like there's kits out there that I'm trying to think of the altered wheelbase Dodges and Plymouths. If you take that out of the box, there's no way you're going to get it right back in the box.
Nothing. I've never opened a Mobius kit and been able to get the box top back on it once they've taken it out. They're stuffed. It's like,
I have one. I haven't built it yet. It's the Ford 250 F250 Custom. It's the only Mobius I have.
Yeah.
You take it out of the box, you'll never get it closed again.
I know. Mr. Tester, what are you most excited about?
The Bluesmobile one.
Yeah.
The Le Mans convertible. I don't know why, but I seem to I'm a ragtop guy, so I have to have that. The Lamborghini looks interesting to me. I don't care if the door opens. I'll glue it shut. The Mercedes, I'm actually working on a 3D print of the same car, so that one doesn't excite me at all. What else? Not the Levin or the 180 SX. Those nothing.
I know I had a picture of this somewhere.
Oh, the twin mill. That's cool, but I don't know that I would build it.
I say in the video they show the whole back half like clamshells open like the Hot Wheels did.
I think I would buy that one just for parts because it's got two blown Hemis that I think are cool, and those wheels are neat, and I want to use that stuff on something else.
Sell to me your parts.
So that seems like a good parts kit. I will buy one.
It'd be interesting to see, what the parts count ends up being on it and how much of these engines are actually in there. If it's just sort of a insert that fits in there, if it's a whole two Hemis.
Oh yeah, I hadn't considered that. They might be sort of a half Hemi.
Huh. It might just be one big piece of two Hemis.
Yeah. And then the body sits on top of it. You got to sandwich it. This looks like there's a split line right here. But yeah, I'd say take the Hot Wheel wheels. Just use them. I mean, the back ones are ridiculously fat, so you can put them on quite a few interesting projects.
Yeah, I hope they do that in like a chrome plated Spectra flame finish. I think that'd be neat.
You restored those, right, Sean?
I've done a bunch of them. Yeah, I was really into that for a while. I still got a bunch. I'll probably get back to it at some point. What are you most excited about, Mr. Duff?
Probably, it'd be interesting to see what comes with the Bluesmobile, if it comes with any kind of actual police parts or not. I'm sure it will at some point, but whether or not it will, right off the bat. Otherwise, probably Marty's truck. I've wanted Marty's truck for ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And it's, that'll be my personal choice, I think. There's some other.
Then you'll have to buy the other Back to the Future Oshima kits too.
No, I have no interest in the. I have the DeLorean itself, but I have no interest in the time machine itself. I mean, I like the movies. If it's on TV, I'll stop and watch it, but it's not. You guys know I'm not a TV and movie car person in the first place. Bluesmobile might be the slightest bit different because Blues Brothers is one of my favorite movies. As my wife likes to point out, you know your favorite movie is a musical, right? Yes, technically it's a musical. But it's a funny musical. It's different. It's okay.
That was a great movie. I don't know how many times I've seen that movie. I mean,
hundreds.
Dozens, yeah.
I mean, the Chicago cars in that movie, there are 74 Monacos. Infamously, you weren't allowed to use Chicago's police livery in a TV show or a movie ever since that movie came out because of how Chicago's police department ended up looking so wildly incompetent in that movie. If you notice, Hill Street Blues is based in Chicago, but those cars don't say Chicago on them. And then if you watch Home Alone, that's Chicago. Those cars don't say Chicago on the side of them. And that you cannot use Chicago police in their lettering scheme on a TV show or movie. Now, Round 2 has done the big 1/18 scale diecast Chicago Monaco, properly done as in period 74 liveries. So maybe for models that restriction doesn't technically exist. CHP also used that. Guys on the forum were like, "Oh, this is great! 74 Monaco. So many police departments used them. 74 Furies, yeah. The Plymouths are what the police department uses. I don't know, Ken, if you remember back that far, if you were in Ohio in the 70s, but Furies were what the Ohio State Highway Patrol had back in the 70s. They weren't the Dodges; they were the Plymouths.
Yeah,
I miss those days because you can see them in your rearview mirror and know you had a cop behind you. These SUVs, you can't tell if it's a ski rack or a police car anymore.
They're not even bright colors anymore. They could be anything.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of difference between the Furies and the Monacos.
Yeah,
the body,
the front end,
rear, they're all different. It'd be hard to, to do a conversion on it, but I'm sure somebody will offer.
No, I mean, I'll say I can't think. What is that? It's not too many parts, but or is it too many?
Too
parts?
few sprues.
Too few sprues.
No. Few sprues loose.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Let's say whatever that ends up being. We all bought parts off of Mid-NL East last year, but because I saw he was doing Gladiator conversions for the J10 Jeeps to backdate them out of the 80s, the way they come in the Revell boxing. So that's something that'll be right up his alley because he made the Hemi police wheels for the new Charger police car, not the so you don't have to build it as an all-wheel drive car if you don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. The Illinois cars were 77 Royal Monacos, which that car is like 3 inches longer than a Monaco with that's flipped down headlights, put an extension on the front end. So that again is nothing you can make right out of that box. That would require both the interior trims different, stuff like that. But give me cop wheels, a cop motor, cop tires, cop shocks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Monaco as well. I think there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with that. I think the thing that I was most excited about, I'm with you, Mr. Duff, that Toyota pickup, that's like a must-have. So
I'll say that was 85. I would have been 8. Like that's dream car for a little kid, you know?
Yeah. And
I always appreciate the fact that he came back from the future and it wasn't something really ostentatious, right? It was an SR5 Toyota. It was a 4-banger with that car. What it cost like $12,000-$13,000 back then. It wasn't like it was a Rolls Royce or something ridiculous.
But Dad had a BMW.
Well, yeah, that's true, but still was a 3 Series, so it's not even that expensive with BMW back then.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they do multiple versions. I'd like to see like a 2-wheel drive, slam chassis version of that and some other stuff.
Ooh, yeah, now you're talking.
It's got a lot of potential for some cool variations.
I saw a comment today that said, I hope that's a new tool kit and they're not basing it on the 1/20th scale Lindbergh kit. If you can figure out a way to backdate that 92 Tacoma into an 85 SR5, I'm willing to listen to that.
And change the scale.
Well, not even so much the scale, just the idea of basing it off that new, a 10-year newer, truck. Go ahead. I'll build. I'm waiting to see how this happens. Yeah, go ahead. That was one of those things. That was a scroll by. That was like what did you just say? No, I'm not answering that.
How many kits were in that series of 1/20th scale? Probably 6 or 7, right?
Quite a few.
S10, Sonoma, Camaro, Explorer Sport, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Nissan hardbody pickup.
How do you remember these things?
Dodge Stealth. There's a Firebird too. There's a Firebird Firehawk. That was always there's another Firebird. But they didn't make a Firehawk, and that was not Revell didn't make a Firehawk. It was a Ram Air. I think there was two generations of S10. There was a square body and a round body.
Your encyclopedia knowledge of model kits is impressive, James.
It really is.
I was saying, if it's before I was born, I know nothing about it. But if it was afterwards, I can. It was what? It was George Tuttle or however you pronounce his name. The guy was at NPC. Ended up in charge of Lindbergh at that point, and that's what he did. Tried to do the 1/20th thing in NPC so bad. That's why the AMC and those Ford vans and all that ended up being 1/20th scale. So he went over to Lindbergh and he's like, "Hey, I have a great idea. 1/20th scale. Let's do that." That's a shame. We talked about them before. I think on the first season with it, I still have a couple of built-up ones I showed on here. They were really nice model kits.
Yeah,
they went together really well. They were, well, anybody who's built any of the 1/24 scale or 1/25th scale Lindbergh kits, the Dodges or the Impala or anything like that, those were state-of-the-art 1990s kits at the time.
Right.
There's a reason why all of those Lindbergh kits are AMT box now, to get them away from that name. You think of Lindbergh, you think of a certain period of time, and you think of, we bought all the Palmer tooling, we bought all the Pyro tooling, and then we released it under our brand name, and you're like, haha, look at this. Would you like a 41 Lincoln? No, you better not want this 41 Lincoln.
That Challenger.
Yeah, say you want the 73 Mustang? Can we interest you in that?
I only laughed because I built the box art for the 74 Challenger.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's my kid.
Not enough Bondo in the world.
Yeah.
Ken, what's your favorite thing to build? What's your favorite genre of car?
Well, it's the 60s muscle cars. I was born in 59. I started driving in 76. But my brother, Dave, my oldest brother, he was a motorhead. And I don't know how this guy scored so many cars in high school. But he had every muscle car there was. I mean, he had the 429 Super Cobra Jet Torino, and he had the 69 Talladega and the 69 428 Mach 1, all within like a year. He was just buying and selling cars for a couple hundred each. And I was just drooling all that stuff. So 60 muscle cars is my favorite.
What's your least favorite?
European. Sorry.
Anything James has on his shelf back there.
Right. All the JDM stuff, right?
Yeah, like I'm not even into supercars a whole lot. Like my brother just bought that brand new Corvette. We went down to Bowling Green and picked it up at the museum. I did a show about it and stuff, but it's just not my kind of car. I think it's awesome. It's a super race car, but it's just not my thing.
Mr. Duff and Mr. Tester have inspired me. I feel like I need to get a Japanese import of something on my workbench, as well as some sort of supercar. So I think that I'm going to make that a goal for 26. I'm going to build something.
Build a Tamiya kit. Just one Tamiya kit. That's all you got to do.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I got my first one on the shelf there. It's that GT4 Mustang race car.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I just picked that up at a show. I can't wait to build that. So that'll be my first Tamiya kit.
Yeah, you'll be changed forever.
Is it in Japanese or English?
It's in English.
Okay. Because I got an old, like a World War II motorcycle Tamiya kit that was gifted to me for a Christmas present like 20 years ago. I've yet to build it, but when I got back in the building, I opened it up and it's all in Japanese. So I was like, oh, is that what the way Tamiya kits are?
No.
Too many kits of that genre would have been, because they weren't really exported to the United States as much, in the 80s and 90s. But now, your instructions are probably more in English than they are in Japanese at this point.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You just have to learn the codes. X18 is black, X white, X1 white.
You guys actually use instructions?
Yeah.
I love my Hasegawa instructions, because it'll say one color code and then another color code with a little teeny symbol next to it, and then so you get your phone out, put your phone on Google Translate, you hold it up there and it says a little. Well, what the hell? How much is a little? Just give me the 5 parts of this to 3 parts of that, and down the road we go. But now it's match it to match it to what? A picture of the car and the clouds and the sun, the box art picture. What exactly is this? I have an orange. What the hell was I looking at the other day? I can't even remember now, but it was an orange car. And I was like, I am not going through the process of digging out the color code for this, 80s JDM car and then seeing if ProScale or somebody else can match the color. I could probably get a, can of paint from a touch-up place, but then who knows if the paint will eat the model kit in the end. And I was like, what is the mix here? And it was this much orange and then white. A little. Okay, so again, am I matching this to pictures I can find online? Am I matching it to the Pantone the box is printed in? Because that's not really the color of the car. That's just the closest color you could make with 4-color printing. So I don't know.
I do want to try one of James's resin kits here, though. I know they're a little pricey, so I'm going to do one of my free ones first to learn, because I hate to spend $180 and really screw it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
I think the experience in that is in doing 3D will get you certain places with the resin, but it's all the PE that's in those kits that if you don't have a lot of experience with the photo etch, they may get you. Now, I've noticed both Alpha and PZY are getting better with not as much PE. It's not as much structural PE, where if you didn't use it, it wouldn't kill you. There's a lot of the early Alpha kits where pieces of photo etch, you had to put them on there or else things didn't fit the things. It's not that way anymore. But James will tell you, I could tell you, the building the kit itself is just a giant Lego. There are holes punched for everything. Everything's tabbed and slotted real well, and it just basically only goes together.
There's no parting lines. There's no parting lines on anything. They're literally just scuff them and paint them.
Yeah, they look really good. They were really. I'm very tempted to get one. I might, if you have any down in Columbus, I might pick one up.
I'll bring some.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have a table, aren't you, James?
I am. I'm vending at that show. I have a stack to my right that needs to go.
A stash.
I've seen this stack. He's trying to sell me things out of this stack. I'm not buying anything out of this stack.
You've got everything there.
Yeah, I know. We were trying to sell me that Audi the other day.
You have 15 of those.
So I do have. Well, I have 13 of those. But I know I can hear everybody saying, "But James, will you be there?" No, actually, of the 4 of us, I am not going to be in Columbus, because that is the same day as our Pittsburgh IPMS show. Being the head judge of the club, not head judge of the club, head automotive judge of the club. I should probably be at the show that my club is putting on. So unfortunately, this year the dates aren't going to match, which really sucks, because this new gig that I've just mentioned before, I don't work weekends anymore, so I can actually go. Except that it's the same damn day. So maybe next year, but it does. It certainly opens up my travel opportunities for the rest of the year. See what's. Maybe I'll get to Sharon. I haven't been to Sharon's show since I was probably a kid. Maybe my 30s when I first came back, 2007, 2008 when I came back into the hobby. I think I made one trip up there, but I was telling James the other day and told my wife the other day, I have worked a night shift that involved the weekend day every year for the past 10 years. I was doing my job history for anybody who's never been a truck driver before. Any job you apply for, you have to put 10 years of your previous work history. It's just a DOT thing. It's not a job thing. The last 10 years, except for about 9 months of one job and 8 months of being over the road, the whole rest of that time I work either night shift or a weekend. So it's been a while.
Wow.
Those are tough hours.
Because like this past weekend was the Columbus IPMS show. Mr. Tester didn't go. Mr. Svensson had other engagements. Ken, you should have went. You could have done a show report. But I couldn't go because I'm still at the stupid old job. Richmond IPMS show is this weekend coming. It's not too bad a drive from here, but again, I'm still working a stupid old job. So I'm looking forward to say, Ken, you can relate since you got drunk back into your old job, right? I can't do the things I want to do because I'm working.
I'm almost done though. We found a guy. I'm working more hours now than I have all along because now that I got a guy, I want him to succeed so I can get out. so I'm real close.
Coming out second time, I ain't going back, boss.
Yeah.
Speaking of upcoming shows, what's everybody thinking about going to next or working towards?
I suppose after Columbus is NNL East. Now, if everyone has approximately 2 months to take this guy right here, who's going to be traveling to Japan and then is going to get back, I think, for 3 days before NNL.
2 days. 2 days before. Yeah.
And
get back on Thursday.
Saturday. Complaining about jet lag, complaining about this, that, and the other thing. He's not going to go. So you have 2 months to tell him about how he needs to show up in New Jersey. I plan to go. I assume Sean plans to go. Ken, I believe you've said that you're going to go. So, and then I don't know, the chat will erupt with, well, I'm going to do too, but everybody goes to that show. It's that in Atlanta, right? So, yeah, that'll be the next one.
Ken, did you go to NNL East before?
I did not. This will be my first time.
Okay.
So, what do I got? I'm going to go to the Columbus or Hilliard, I guess is the town. So, the Classic in Columbus. I'm going to do the NNL East because that really looks exciting. Then there's a couple local shows. There's the Sharon and the Akron show. Certainly going to hit Cleveland again this year. Detroit I went to last year. And I think there's a big one in Toledo that I've got to look up yet.
Yeah, there's a IPMS show in it's not Fremont. I think Fremont's what it's called, but it's right outside of Toledo, and it's the week before NNL East, I think it is. Let me look.
Is it? I got to start making reservations too. Like I don't even have reservations for NNL East yet. Might be sleeping in my car if I wait too long.
Nah, there's plenty of hotels around there, and I don't think I booked a hotel room at the host hotel until like 2 weeks before last year, and I didn't have any problems. It's a huge. It's a place that Sean didn't go there, but there's James. It's a place we had dinner. I say air quotes because trying to get food out of that place was next to impossible. But that hotel has like 300-400 rooms in it. It's more than enough space. Let me see here. Events, all events. And
the Sharon one that you guys were talking about?
That is the Shenango Valley Area Scale Modelers Convention. It's called SVASCOM. It's a real roll off your tongue name for it. That's in September.
I won first prize on every one of my builds. You see it. It's one of those shows where everybody wins. I was honored, but I won first place, and then I looked, and all my cars won first place, and then I saw that half the other people won first place, and I'm like scratching my head. Not.
That's because it's a gold, silver, bronze show. That's what it was. Yeah. ModelCon 419, Perrysburg, Ohio is April 18th. So yeah, it's the week before NNL East.
And that's the one there, Toledo, because I just saw Kevin Smith said Toledo is no more. So
that's the NNL Toledo, but
okay.
The IPMS show just came back last year. So this will be the second year of its resumption. There's an IPMS show in Buffalo the week before that. And then really there's nothing until the fall, and then you get into PenCon and SVASCOM and all of those things.
I mentioned it on my show the other day. I think it'd be fun for anybody that wants to go to the Acme show, because I definitely plan on it, is gather up a bunch of us and get one of those Airbnb mansions, like with 14 bedrooms or whatever, and a dozen or two of us, probably be about $200 a night. But what a blast that would be, huh? To have 14 of us in a big mansion just talking models.
It sounds like a reality show.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, like, everybody laughed at Ken when he made that suggestion on Friday, and we're all chuckling here. But like the armor modelers, like the AMPS, the Armor Modeling Preservation Society, their national convention is in South Bend, Indiana this year. Those guys get Airbnbs and share them 6, 7, 8 guys at a time. And the same thing with the IPMS Nationals. Groups of people will get Airbnbs, and they'll put 5, 10 people in them. And like that's because it doesn't cost any more than a hotel does.
Yeah.
And if you could find space with 4 or 5 bedrooms in it, so that people aren't weirded out because you're bunking with each other or sleeping on the couch or something like that. I mean, when we went to IPMS Nationals in Virginia Beach this past year, I got an Airbnb at the beach, and it ended up being less than it would have cost me to stay at an oceanfront hotel room. And I had a house instead of being stuck in a motel room. So,
right,
that's not a bad idea. We could do a podcast episode.
Yeah, say it. I think there was a group of guys that got an Airbnb at Atlanta last year at Acme. Pretty sure. I think it might have been. I think it was George Vision 124 and his group from New Jersey. They had an Airbnb because Mikey, that's on the other podcast with Jason and them, were talking about that, and they all went back to their Airbnb. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to bring a group of 5, 6 guys from the same place, like they are all from Central Jersey, they're that run help run NNL East and the Diversified Scalers guys, like you get 5 guys. That's one. First of all, is one too many people for a hotel room there, because you 2 to a hotel room, and then 2 hotel rooms going to cost you $300-$400 a night.
Right.
How much is an Airbnb going to cost? $200 a night, probably.
Yeah.
Because how much does an Airbnb in Marietta, Georgia cost? Like, it's not downtown Atlanta or anything like that. It's sort of kind of out a little bit.
Maybe we should
I started doing the Airbnbs on vacation. I mean, it's definitely worth the value,
Oh yeah, if you're getting a whole place rather than being stuck in a room with no, especially if you're gonna be someplace for like a week, having an actual refrigerator and stove and not some kitchenette, 2-burner kitchenette with half of a dorm fridge in it.
Right.
You should. I got an idea. You know what we should do? We should, because I saw a bunch of YouTube guys are building shop vans. I think they're gonna for Acme, right?
Yeah, they are. That's right. Yes.
We should do an automotive podcast shop van. Each one of us take a different part of it, like body, chassis, interior, engine, and then we bring the parts together. We'll assemble it at in the Airbnb the night before the show.
All right, Sean. The 2 of us will do it.
Smell the glue drying from here. We'll talk about a final assembly that won't fit.
Sounds like fun. A couple of adult beverages included.
Kevin Smith saying don't rent in Buckhead. No, Kevin, we're not going down to Buckhead. No desire to. I, in this point, have too many children and I'm far too married to enjoy any time in Buckhead in the Atlanta suburbs. Come to Heritage Con, land at the airport, and go to the show, fly out after. Yeah, I still need a passport for that. Heritage Con is at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum in Hamilton, Ontario, outside of Toronto. That would have been a trip to make at some point in time, but these days, in order to cross the border, you need a passport to get back into this country.
You don't have a passport, James?
No. The last time I was out of this country driving a truck, you didn't. It was, just after 9/11, and that was not a requirement to have one. That
Okay.
Are you have something would prevent you from getting a passport?
No, other than the fact that I don't feel like spending $120 for something that I may or may not ever use. I mean, I know it's good for these days. The passport's good for 10 years, but it's like my high school, right? I took 3 years of Spanish because I figured if I ever went on vacation anywhere, it would be to Mexico or somewhere in the Caribbean that I would need to know how to speak the language. Donde está el baño, right? No, I got a job driving trucks, and the first place I went was freaking Quebec. I don't speak a word of French, so that was fantastic. If I had known I was going to take this career path in high school, I would have took the 3 years of French instead.
Well, then you didn't just end up driving a truck down to Mexico.
Yeah, wow. What? Yeah, it's like the border towns of Texas in the truck driving career are much like Vegas. What happened there stays there. Very, let's say, see story time, right? I was walking back across the border from Mexico, from being down there. These two kids were behind me. I was in my 30s. They're in their 20s. They're drunk out of their minds, lost their wallet somewhere out drinking down there. So they have no ID. And at the time, we're talking again 20 years ago, you didn't have to have a passport to come back from Mexico. You just need to have your driver's license. Are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, ma'am, I certainly am. Here's my driver's license. Thank you. Have a nice day. So these two are fumbling around back there, cursing up a storm, like just MFing each other up one side and down the other about who lost whose wallet and whose fault this is. And I go through the line, are you U.S. citizen? Yes. They're back around. I looked at them because they're a loud amount of obscenities at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? It's just like they're being ridiculous. And she looks at me and goes, are you with them? I said, no. Under no circumstances am I anywhere near either one of those two. I think we're just book on out of there. Ever get across the border? I don't know. Don't care. Well, but that was like, because that was a show. The Heritage Con that he mentioned used to be the day after the Pittsburgh show, and it was always a thing that the Pittsburgh guys would get together after the show, go out to lunch, and then drive up there, that evening, because it's only about a 4-hour drive from Pittsburgh. So it was a trip that everybody, because that's a Sunday show. And the IPMS show's a Saturday show. So it was a weekend for everybody. And they're all like, come on, it'll be fun. You go up there. I'm like, I can't. I mean, I could get up there, but I can't come back. And I kind of partial to coming back. So I think you can get a passport card. You don't need the actual booklet to get back across from Canada and Mexico. But
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
But, again, some point, one of those bucket trip, right? Shizuoka. Someday to go to Shizuoka, that requires a passport. Go to the IPMS Nationals, basically in England. What do they call that? Scale Model World.
Oh, right.
In Telford. That's a passport. To go to SMC over there in Eindhoven, the big, fancy pants show that everybody thinks is the greatest model contest ever, which it sounds like it could be, but I don't know. It's not exactly a automotive model contest by any stretch of the imagination. Again, as a passport trip. Going to Sharon, it's a 90-minute drive. I don't need a passport to enter Mercer County yet. Ken might. He's coming across the border. They might stop him, but
you just need a shovel to fix the potholes.
I think that show's moved too. I think Sharon's in a different place this year.
Hey, since we're almost at time, Mr. Duff, do you want to ask our question we asked to all the guests?
I suppose so. So Ken, you're quote unquote new to the hobby, right? Obviously, you built before, but you're back again. As you develop your skills and you're getting into this whole process, can you look out ahead and think of a big project that would sort of be, we call it an opus magnum build, right? It's your lifetime achievement award. If there's something out there that exists, it could not even be like something you own currently, just something that you think about. A lot of people have answered like the Model Factory Hero 1/12 scale car or something along those lines. If there's some sort of project out there that exists in your mind that would be like, this is Ken, this is what Ken's modeling was about. It's a semi-unfair question to ask somebody who's only been back for like a year, but is there something that is out there for that?
That's a tough question for me right now, but because I'm still struggling to fit a 3D motor into a AMT kit, but not a particular kit or anything, but I do aspire to have. I want that one perfect model. And I kind of said it kind of earlier, it'll be something that I'm going to build on the side for a year, and I'm going to have detailed stuff on the interior. I'm going to light it up. I'm going to have map lights and working glove boxes and just every imaginable detail, every door open, that's going to be my thing. And I haven't even picked a kit yet for it, but probably be something big like a Lincoln Continental or with suicide doors or something where you can really show it off. But that's kind of where I want to head. But I'm still a few weeks away from that one.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, let me show one thing that I pulled off Ken's group here. So this is a 53 Ford, but it's not just a 53 Ford. This has been, I believe, fusified according to the license plate.
Yeah, that's the Foos kit, the Revell Foos kit. Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun build. That came out really, really, really nice. And that's painted with MCW Tahoe, turquoise Tahoe metallic. Beautiful color on that thing. Pretty much stock, except for I wired the distributor. I think that was the first kit I wired.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
Nice. What inspired you to build that one?
Hobby Lobby, 40% off.
That's every time, right?
But since I got that, I picked up a couple more old trucks, and I plan on, because I like the bounce back and forth. I get into doing patina builds too. So this one was a pretty truck. I'm going to do a patina one. I'm just going to play around. I want to do one where the whole front end tilts forward with a big 572 engine in it or something. This is
patina build, you say?
Pardon me?
It's a patina build, you say?
Yep, that's a patina one right there. That's the MPC Nomad kit. And I did it up as a surfer wagon. That was fun. That was one of those quick builds, there's nothing really fancy going on there. But I do love I love the patina stuff. To me, you got to get more creative doing patina than you do a perfect paint job of enamels and 2K clears. All those little techniques and stuff, and they're just a lot of fun, and you get to experiment with them. So I like to break it up and do those too. That's a pretty one.
That is pretty cool. What surfboard and stuff, where did that come from?
That one, I couldn't tell you for sure. My buddy Joe from Youngstown, from Joe's New Rush Shop, he has a channel too. We met him and Grandpa Mark's Hobbies, if you're familiar with them. We all live real close to each other here. And we went out to lunch one day, and Joe builds a lot of RCE builds, bodies for cars. So he gave us both a giant shopping bag full of sprue parts because he never uses the interiors or the engines or the chassis. And it is so cool. And I saw those surfboards in there. It's like, oh yeah, I as soon as I saw the surfboards, I knew that I was going to build this car. Nice. But that grab bag is a lot of fun because it's like kit bashing without having to steal from your kits.
Nice. And nice job on the patina. I need to tackle a patina job.
It's fun. It really is.
One.
Yeah, I've rust some out. That one's more faded than anything, but I've done some where I just hogged them all out, like Ohio rust on the quarter panels or whatnot. I like building a little bit of everything, I even did a big semi and the trailer and all that stuff. That was a challenging build. One of the old AMT semi tractor trailers.
I've heard those are challenging.
Yeah, say your car hauler's up there behind you there.
Yes, it is. Yeah. In fact, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to try to break a record. Behind me, I've got some Mopars here, and I'm going to do 3 Plymouth Roadrunners and 3 Cudas. And I'm going to try to do 6 builds in 6 days. It's pushing it for sure, but they're all going to be curbsides because they're going to be on the trailer, so you're not going to see the engines and you're not even going to see the chassis. Right. I'm going to have windows in them with the window stickers. So really they're going to be pretty paint jobs. So I think I can pull it off, but that's going to be one of my fun things is 6 builds in 6 days.
Definitely summertime.
Yeah.
So there's a live stream to that, right? Can build 6 models in 6 days.
Yeah, and I'll do it live. Yeah, the whole week.
No sleeping, just 6 days straight through.
And I'll croak.
It sounds like a Survivor episode or something.
Yeah. I got a lot to do. I mean, everybody laughs at me because I've got this big stash of 40 builds to do, but you guys laugh at me because that's 40 is not a lot of stash, right?
It's got rookie numbers, man. You got to pump them numbers up in this racket.
I see how you do it, though. It's so addicting. It's so addicting because now you see, every time you see a kid, it's like, I don't know if I'll see that again. So you got to grab it. And then I'm starting to get into where I want to build more of the same thing, so I really should start buying like 2 of everything.
Or 15.
Or
15, right, James?
Hey, I have decals to do every single one of those, and probably another 10 on top of
it. James has more decals than I have kits.
Just because you want to build like this Audi that this girl wearing a scantily almost not their amount of clothing. I don't want to hear about it.
I sold you that.
You did sell me that. I was just talking to our buddy John Hodgkins, the guy who, if you follow him on Facebook, just built all of the Bathing Ape camo livery cars about this. And I said, this will be a great model to take like someplace. Acme might be, but I think Acme might be a little too sophisticated for it. Someplace where the fact that it is not quite, but almost naked. It's a Chinese GT race, so it's got Chinese printing and lettering all over it. And then the number on this is 666. Now, to Americans of a certain religious persuasion, that's a terrible number. In China, it's a good luck number because obviously the language is not the same, and the cultural things about that don't equal the same thing. I said it's a half nude Chinese lady with a evil race placard number. Well, that'll be fun. Let's see if we take that around and see who that offends.
Yeah, that's good for trouble.
I can't believe he would build that. Oh my god,
troublemaker.
And it's right.
Take it to IPMS.
That's exactly right. See if I can get the little privacy shield put up around it. Can't be showing that to the general public. They're children. And then you go over to the juniors table and there's no models. And you're like, what children? There ain't no children here. All right, Ken, that is a wrap on this one, guys. We appreciate everyone in the comment section for coming. I know we don't read the comments the way that some people do, but I have been keeping track of them. The Bluesmobile and the SR5 are the fan favorites as far as what kids you would want to build. Ken, I want to thank you for, especially at last minute, coming on and being here tonight, sharing your new hobby journey with us.
That was fun. I appreciate you having me on, and if I may, real quick, I appreciate both JT and yourself for agreeing to be on my show. James was already set up to be on my show here coming up, and then when you reached out to my agent, Mr. Duff, to get me scheduled for this show, my agent negotiated to have you on my show.
Yes, I believe I was contacted about that by my agent. Yes.
And Sean, I'd love to get you on there one of these days if I can too. Each one of you guys, I try to have a theme on every show, and Mr. Duff's theme is going to be judging competitions, which I think is going to be a great show. And Mr. Tester certainly is going to be, I want to talk about his Japan adventures and his resin builds. And then Sean, you just got all that world of cool stuff plus your box art. So I'm hoping that you'll join me on one of my episodes too. So, but I think having me on,
work something out, I'd be happy to.
Good, appreciate it.
Thanks for
it'll be fun
tonight, Ken. It's nice.
It was fun.
I say it. Let me give you the official YouTube plug. Ken, where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube at Model Building and Retirement, and also Facebook group page under the exact same name. And that is growing leaps and bounds. Just 200 members 2 weeks ago and over 1,500 as of today. So those are two places that keep me very busy. And
for folks who want to catch your live stream, your podcast, when and what date and what time? Haha, there we go. Is that?
Well, thank you. I forgot to plug that. Yeah. Every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So, except for when there's big shows or summertime, I might take a little break. But every Friday night, 7 p.m., 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time.
All right, there you go, folks. Check out Ken. If you don't already subscribe to him at this point, based on his subscriber count, you already subscribed to him. Appreciate everybody joining us this evening, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Good night, everyone.
See you next time.